I'm coming up on the old Archer camp. It's part of the Archer mine, which is down in central California in the coastal range. There's an old mercury mine, and I know that BLM did some remediation work about 6 years ago in the area. I don't know if they did work to the camp or if it was just to the mine area, which is way back up in those hills there. Probably won't be going there today. It's not even 10 o'clock yet, and it is just broiling hot today. But those foam poles look relatively new. Lots of wildlife around, mostly birds. Seen a few rabbits. Tons and tons of quail. The wet winter that we had did a lot for the quail, which is good, but that's kind of interesting. Somebody dug something out for some reason. It's an old oak tree. Not that old, actually. Pretty small. But, so yeah, I'm keeping my eyeballs open just to see what's around here. So far, not a lot. This is it on the topo map. This is the camp. So I'm assuming this is where people would have lived while they were working the mine. And obviously people have been here camping at some point, although whatever's left of this trash pile fire pit looks pretty old as well. I don't even know if you can actually drive into here. I had to go through some private property to get to the end of a road, which then has a locked gate. And then from there I've been on foot. But it's beautiful up here. Looks like some more just rocks up that way, big boulders and whatnot. A lot of serpentine in this area. And I believe that the workings were all surface workings, so I'm going to hike on a little further, just see if I can find any tailings piles or waste rock piles or anything like that. Okay, so I'm still at the Archer camp, and I missed this when I walked by initially, but there's some sort of odd depression here. You can kind of see right there, see where those cracks are, and then it slopes down inwards towards those bushes, and then that oak tree right there, about 3 feet from it this way, it starts to slope down, and then back there's almost like a straight cut that starts to slump in, and then right along here it all slopes in, and it's just kind of unusual. It doesn't really match the contour of the land. There is a mound up there and a small ramp with nothing on it that goes up that way. I don't see any, wood or timbers, rotted timbers. That pipping sound that you hear in the background is a quail. That's what they do when they're nervous. Anyhow, there's obviously a lot of brush and trees that were cleared here at one point in time. And big flat area here. Again, where that oddball sort of tree transplant thing is. See a broken chunk of a cinder block. Oh, sorry about that, folks. And yeah, I mean, this looks like it was, naturally, this was ground level, and then this was dug out and around. I'm not sure when that happened or why, but then there's more flat stuff here. Lots of pieces of wood and whatnot. Could be from a structure like this thing right here. That actually looks like a foundation. It's in there pretty well. So that could have been part of a foundation for a building. And then over here, lots of boulders, some brush, lots of plastic pipe sticking out of the ground all over the place. And there, these definitely look, yeah, you got rebar there. Other pieces of metal, big concrete block. So this was definitely a steel pipe sticking out of the ground up there. This was part of some sort of mining, part of the mining operation. The mercury ore, if they were doing it all on site or if they were just crushing it down and then shipping it off to be roasted. I haven't found any tailings or any mine dump piles yet. So I'm going to look a little further down because I think I might have missed the initial part of the camp when I was coming up the road. More flat spots would have been a good building area, but again, I don't see anything that really indicates that. There is some, there are some pieces of old actual milled wood, timber, things like that, but and you can see how that's kind of just cut back right there. So it looks like this was definitely where there was a structure. It'd be kind of cool to metal detect, since it doesn't look like there's a lot of trash, but no clue. So we'll keep looking around. All right, so on the uphill side of that road, this is the last, or the last spot I was going to check, and this is the only sign that I found that really confirms, human use and habitation at some point. It's got this, I don't know, it's some sort of concrete pond holding water, and it's set at the bottom of this really big slope here. So whatever water would run off would be caught in there. You can see how it's lower right there. It's kind of like the inlet, and it hasn't been used in a long time. It's all full of pine needles and other crud. Lots of cow crap around here, and no outlet for it, so if it ever filled up it would just spill over. But yeah, not a whole heck of a lot left here. BLM did a really good job of erasing a piece of our history, and they did that with the ARRA funds, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, I believe it was called. It was passed during the great, quote-unquote, Great Recession. Yeah, so it's nice to know my tax dollars are going to the destruction of pieces of our history. This site was, I have to double check, but I believe it was founded around the turn of the century. Same with the mine. And that's one last look up at the Archer camp proper. And now we're going to take a walk up to a couple miles to some other mill sites on White Creek. So I'll see ya.